of the hour with us. My Pillow himself, Mr. Mike Lindell. We're so excited to have you back on Right Side Broadcasting Network. So you don't need to introduce yourself.
You guys are awesome.
Oh. You gotta say it again so we can clip it.
First of all, you guys are awesome.
I love it. Joe's gonna love that back home. Well, we're so excited to be back with you. Before I ask you some questions, I want to tell the chat something really quick. I am going to be taking some of y'all's questions for Mike. So if you want to get those into me on the YouTube Super Chat right now, go ahead and type them and tag @Liz so I can read them, and your questions will be asked at the end of our interview. We're going to make it as quick as possible because you're a busy man. You are just as if you're one of the Trump family members when you walk in here. Everyone is so excited to see you. You are a name in conservative politics without being a politician. How does that happen?
You know what? I think it's my story. It's a story of hope. It's the great American dream. You know, Donald Trump is a great American dream. When you do things, the entrepreneurs, the businessmen in this country. Mine's just a little magnified because of an ex-crack addiction, you know, and I think it's hope. I think it's people are looking right now for hope more than ever, you know, and with faith, with God, with Jesus, that's where I'm at, and I think people are looking to that. They're reaching out, and like I said at the Rose Garden, we're going to bring our nation back, for we turn this back on God, and we're going to come roaring back. The economy, we got the greatest president in history, and it's so exciting to be here today.
So excited. As soon as I saw you, I said, we got to have him up here. But how's it going in Minnesota? And can we expect any political offices that you might be taking in the near future?
Well, everybody, you know, they want me to run for governor. That's 2022. Right now, the president made me chairman of the Minnesota Trump campaign, and I made a promise to him we will win Minnesota.
That was my next question. How are we going to do that?
No question about, well, you know what? They're making it easy. Our poorly controlled, our governor, mayor, all this, the worst politicians and common sense I've ever seen. So they're making it very easy. Even my friends that are Democrats and liberals are going, wow, Mike, we are, you know, the president's done such a great job. We're flipping. And I mean, this is what I hear. Right now, we have a deep sadness in Minneapolis. This is where I spent so much time on those streets. My friends call me, and they have a deep sadness. Look what happened. Look what our leadership here did in Minnesota and Minneapolis. It's terrible. So it's one of those things I'm thinking, you know, if you got to do something right, you better do it yourself. I mean, that's why I keep leaning that way, because I'm going, there's so many common sense fixes. Our president showed us that, you know. Here's the problem, here's the solution, and when it's going to fix it. And so
politicians are just not used to actually working or doing anything to fix things once they take office, and that's a big difference between a businessman like yourself and as well as Trump.
Well, that's what, you know, our president, what he does, he's got a gift of here's a problem, here's a solution, and he knows what it's going to manifest to. That's a businessman's mentality. For the first time in history, we have someone there that makes decisions to help the people, the common sense decision, instead of making them for political reasons or having your own agenda. Our great president, he does it. Hey, here's a problem. He's like a vacuum cleaner in knowledge. How many presidents ever invite people to the White House? A businessman. I was there for the Black History Month. I mean, all these things. He sees a problem like the inner cities. He's had like so many different meetings with the black demographics and then the businessmen that I was there when I spoke at the Rose Garden. He takes this information in and he brings it all in, and then he makes a common sense decision. Do you know, if we're going into this pandemic, if we wouldn't have been where he had brought us to as a nation and all the great hope he had brought us, where would we be if it had been, you know, it would have been people were, the only thing that kept us going during this pandemic was, wow, the hope that he had given us back then with the lowest black unemployment, lowest unemployment, highest consumer. It was, you know, we had never experienced that before, and everyone's going, you know, we have faith we're going to get out of this, and it's going to be like that. You know what? It's going to be better than it was, better than ever. The economy, everything's going to be better.
Some of the questions, I'm reading them as you speak, they want to know, they said that they saw you doing a lot of work to kind of get masks made during the pandemic and whatnot. What was your inspiration, and how did you get involved into donating so many masks to organizations?
You know, we've always, at My Pill, that's me. God gave me a platform. God gave me, he redeemed me from, you know, from my addictions and stuff. And it's such a blessing to give. And for me, when we've had our hurricanes, we've given out, My Pillow just gives. When we have
soldiers too.
When during this pandemic, when we had the things that happened in Minneapolis, and he finally called in the National Guard, we gave them all pillows, But the mask was just common sense when that started. I'm going, my employees are, going, I'm going, you guys see if we make masks out of our material and stuff. We did our due diligence.
Seems like you were one of the first companies to really jump in there and do that.
Absolutely. I think we were the first. And but we were able to react fast. We turned 75% of our production over to mass production within about, I think, 4 days. And we're used to scaling big at My Pillow, so we're like a big family. And everybody pitched in. And first I had to make it safe for my employees, which I did. And we made it through this, this pandemic, and it's been very like My Pillow. It's just the passion runs through. If everybody was like my company, where every company would help, and we'd have all our stuff made here, and everybody, it would just be a better place. It starts at the top and works way down. And business owners out there, I want to tell business owners out there, we are, we learned a lot this pandemic. For one thing, all the manufacturing is going to come back from China, and we're going to make it here. And I'm going to tell you something. Never be afraid to speak out for God, Jesus, and to speak out for our great president. And because everyone's going, I can't do that, I'm going to hurt my business. Let me tell you, at My Pillow, my busiest day is always the day we're in.
Next question. A lot of people are asking about My Pillow. They want to know if you will sign. Cindy Hoffman, one of our frequent viewers, says, ask him if he will sign My Pillow and his book while he is here at an event I am going to in Des Moines, Iowa in September.
If I was there, I certainly would. Absolutely. I'm all about it. I remember when I was going show to show when nobody knew who My Pillow was, and we would do shows all the way. I was in Des Moines a lot, and it was just so much fun dealing with the people.
We have some people saying you're from their neck of the woods in Minnesota and that you're a really nice person and you're on a mission. Some great comments about you. Everyone is just saying they absolutely love My Pillow and Mike. 26,000 are watching right here alone on YouTube. If you had any words of encouragement about what's kind of going on right now and what to look forward to regarding the 2020 election, we know that you had a very positive outlook for Minnesota, but what message would you send those watching at home?
I would say everybody's out there that's watching, this isn't about just getting, if you're a Republican, to get out to vote. This is the time you need to show people that are on your left or that are in the middle and the left. Say, you guys, look around you. Look what happened to Democratic-controlled cities, and right now it was exposed. And don't be afraid. You got to go to them and say, hey, you guys need to switch. You need to vote common sense. Call it the Common Sense Party. That's what our president has built, the Common Sense Party. And don't be afraid to speak out. We all got to be disciples. Get out there and tell people on the left here. Everyone's going to vote on the right. I would expect everybody to vote, but you need to educate. It's educate. You got to get by the fake news. It's horrible. They've done it to me a million times over. And now that they do, they go, boycott Mike Lindell and My Pillow, and the other guys on Twitter go, don't boycott him. He'll double his ads. We see enough of that guy. Yes, I will.
I love your ads. When I'm watching Fox every night at home, it comes on. I'm like, I know him. I love seeing it. So last question. You've got a lot going on right now. You recently released an audiobook. Is that correct? Is that your first one?
It's my book, and it's a story of hope. And I just did my audio one, but I self-published because I want all the money to go to the kingdom. It's going to go to my Lindell Recovery Network, which is going to help millions of addicts, and that'll be launched in about September. So the proceeds from my book, I pre-printed 3 million copies. Who does that, right? I even bought my own paper, and when you see this story, that book is my story to be told. It's called What Are the Odds from Crack Addict to CEO? And in your life, I would always use mathematics to know that God exists. A 1 in a million, a 1 in a billion. This thing never happens. And you add them together. When do you consider it a miracle? My friends all see me. The first time I went to the White House was a roundtable event in 2017. And I go, who's sitting here? And they said the president is. Now here I am on national TV, and all my friends from way back there going, what is that ex-crack addict doing there sitting next to the president of the White House? Jesus has to be real, because that's impossible. but with God, all things are possible.
What a testament for you to be able to talk during the opioid crisis. You're able to really relate to so many people with a story of hope.
Absolutely. And I want to tell you, too, even with addiction, which is the opportunity of a lifetime to get people for the biggest revival in history, okay? People looking for hope are people that, you know, you have addicts. Or addicts aren't just people in the street. They're people no matter how many forks you eat with. And we're all affected by it. And, you know, the hope, you've got to look at, you know, where the hope is. And if people are looking for hope, they don't reach out to God unless there's a problem. We got big problems now. So it's the time to reach out. But our president, to tell you what bureaucracy does to our society when you have to go through these layers of garbage, is just in addiction. 30-some states have laws where if you want to get treatment, if you want to counsel an addict, you got to go to school for 4 years, you got to swim the English Channel, climb 25 trees, all these restrictions. And the guy's I've forgotten more about addiction than they have. Well, the president has put stuff in place that's going to scale it back where, you know what, who do I want help from? Somebody that's been there and made it through. That's my hope, and Jesus is the hope. You know, so it's going to be amazing where we're going.
I'm so excited to see it. And before I let you go, I want to say one of my favorite things about this interview today is to hear you mention the Mike Lindell recovery program, because that's what I remember about a year ago. You had come up with the idea, and it was kind of like your first time mentioning it. So you really do follow through on your promises, and that's really incredible. We're very proud.
When this comes out, it's going to be, you guys hear it here first, by September. I think we're going to launch it September 26th. It's going to be one of the biggest events in history on the mall in Washington called The Return. And when that launches, it's going to be the same time I launch the Lindell Recovery Network. This isn't going to help like 2,000 addicts a year. Millions. It's a combination of so many things, and I can't say it all now, but this plan came from God, not from me. I'm just a vessel, but it's going to be awesome.
A great vessel that is. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to pass it back over to Jordan really quickly, or any other coworker. Can someone take it?